All right, everyone that's logging on, we're going to get started in 1 minute. We are excited for our guest speaker here today. We're going to get started in 1 minute. Hello, my friend.
What's up, guys?
We are about to get started, my friend. Give me 1 minute, okay?
No rush, no rush. Take your time.
All right.
You're the one that's late. Hey, Roop, are we live?
Yes, we are, but we're going into your video right now, my friend.
No rush. Take your time.
And now I have the honor to talk about a young man that's come a long way since he was working 60 hours a week as a retail manager in London. Back then, he was dreaming of a different future, a future where he could be his own boss and attain a comfortable level of financial freedom. When he joined ACN, one of his objectives was to earn enough money to support his parents so that they could retire comfortably. He has proudly accomplished that goal.
All right, just give me 1 second here, everybody. We're going to get started here in just 1 second. Just give me 1 second.
And now I have the honor to talk about a young man that's come a long way since he was working 60 hours a week as a retail manager in London. Back then, he was dreaming of a different future, a future where he could be his own boss and attain a comfortable level of financial freedom. When he joined ACN, one of his objectives was to earn enough money to support his parents so that they could retire comfortably. He has proudly accomplished that goal, and now he's focused more of his energy on helping, training, and mentoring others in his team to mirror his own success. This Circle of Champions member understands the importance of staying in phase one. He continues to feature among the top producers in all of Europe. Please help us promote to the position of Senior Vice President, Ahmed Mukhtar.
Here we go, everybody. We're going to welcome onto our webinar here today one of the top senior vice presidents in the entire company of ACN and one of the biggest network marketers in the world of the network marketing industry, Mr. Ahmed Mukhtar. Thank you for being on today, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mr. Roop, and thanks Shaquille as well. Appreciate you guys' time.
Wow.
Welcome, man. How you been?
Yeah, really good. You know, quarantined at home. Have two little ones. You know, my newborn he was actually born on January the 20th. So, you know, my second son just turned 2 years old. So got two under two. It is a bit of a challenge, but it's good. It's been good. It's been good.
Wow. I can relate.
Yeah, well, good for you. You have two now. Shaquille has one, and I got one on the way.
Man, I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. Get ready, Roop.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. And we are live on Facebook right now on our Top Producer Facebook page. We're doing it live. We're doing a private Zoom here, but we've got it live running on our Facebook page. So anybody can share it right now. You can go right into the Top Producer podcast page, share it right from that page. We're also, if you have comments or questions, we'll try to get through one or two of those at the end. So feel free to chime in and comment. We want to hear everybody's feedback, but I wanted to start out with that video, man, because even though it was short, we're going to get to more of that later. Pretty powerful moment in your life, huh?
Absolutely. So that was in 2015 when I hit SVP in our company. It was, how can I say, it was honestly the best day of my life. I mean, one of the best days of my life, I must say. Like, it was a powerful moment. It feels surreal. It's like, wow, is it happening to me? And, you know, like I remember when I was standing there and I was like, you know, they just finished the RVP promotions and I was the only SVP getting promoted that weekend. So I'm standing there now and then it's my time. So it starts, you know, Mr. Provenzano goes on, does what he does. And then I'm just standing there and I'm like, wow, it's my time. You know, so, and I promised myself, and this is, look, I don't think I've ever cried in public, like never. So I'm thinking, all right, I ain't going to break down. I'm good. Like, we're good. And then I go on stage. I couldn't even get my words out for the first 2-3 minutes because all this emotion hits you and you've got people that are there celebrating you and all the rest of it. So it's insane to say the least. So, yeah.
Wow, man, that's real powerful. And I was watching your video today. I was out, you know, doing some yard work before I came in and got to work today and watching your RVP. I watched your RVP promotion, your SVP promotion. You know, you're one of our top guys, man. We look up to you and what you've done in this company. And before we get into all that, we put together this podcast. We want to talk to some of the biggest people in our company. Also throughout the network marketing industry, we're going to open this up. And Shaquille and I were talking, and, you know, we get a lot of training all the time, right? We get the do this and do that. We kind of wanted to, you know, open this podcast up a little bit to really hear the stories, the backgrounds, just to have a casual back and forth conversation that a lot of people don't get to hear that type of conversation from some of the top people unless they're in the circle, right? So we wanted to kind of open it up to everybody, especially with what's happening. Everybody's kind of quarantined and going crazy a little bit, can't get out the house and socialize like we used to. So we put this on, and we thank you very much for being on and being a guest of ours.
That was a pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
Let's start with, you know, we're just going to interview you, Q&A, if that's okay.
Absolutely fine.
All right. And you're dialing in from London, England today, right?
Yeah. So London, UK is where I live. I've lived there my whole life practically. So I'm at home. I'm comfortable. I'm relaxed. So yeah, I'm all yours.
Awesome. Well, that's how we want it. And there, I think it's 6 o'clock at night already, right?
Yeah. So it's 6 p.m. 6:09 p.m. now. So yeah.
Well, we appreciate your time. We know you're a busy man. So let's take everybody back before, and you know, you're on YouTube, you've told your story in front of stage, but it's always good to hear people's stories. I think people can really relate and connect with people that way. What was your story before you even got involved with this industry? Why don't you tell everybody what you were doing and how your life was before ACN?
Yeah, absolutely. So if I take you back, so I was just the type of guy that just went to school, just finished my education. I went to university. You guys in America, you call it college, I believe. So I finished all of that. And after I finished all of that, I just ended up working as a retail manager for a large supermarket chain in the UK. You know, they were a large department store. So I did that. I did that for around 8 years, and I found myself working almost 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And after some time, I just felt frustrated. I was like, look, there has to be more to life than just doing this. I was getting up in the morning. Like, look, if I was working at my family's business, for example, okay, good. If I'm working in my own business, okay, good. I'm willing to put the hard work, the time, the dedication. But I did that for another company. Like, I did that for my job, and I worked extremely hard. But after some time, I just really felt burnt out, making a salary. And I just said, look, enough's enough. I have to do something different. So in 2012, I made a decision, right? I made the decision that I wanted to actually move out of the UK because I just thought to myself, there's no real opportunities out in the UK. And I said, look, I've got to move out, go somewhere else new, and just start a fresh life. And that was honestly my intention. So I was meant to actually move out to Dubai, right? So I was meant to move out to Dubai in 2013. And that's where I was just planning just to get a job and just, and I found a job being a HR manager for a large company there. And what's crazy is I was meant to move out to Dubai in October 2013. But then now in June 2013, I hear about ACN. So I'm meant to be moving out, I think 4 or 5 months later. But then I hear about ACN, and someone just approached me, and he was a security guard for the company that I worked at, and he just said, look, are you open-minded to making money? Never heard of network marketing, direct sales, this industry, ACN. I did not hear of anything to do with sales whatsoever. But the thing I knew was I wanted more out of life. That's the one thing that I knew deep down, that I wanted more out of life, and I was willing to do whatever it takes to get there. But I was just looking for the right vehicle. So I knew the destination I wanted to be, okay, I want to go from here, and I want to go to, let's say, becoming a millionaire. I want to go to changing my family's life around financially, buying my own home, whatever it is, right? So I knew where I wanted to go. But the only problem was I'm in this foreign, like I want you to imagine you're in this foreign land. You don't speak the language, and you want to get to, let's say, a certain location. You don't know the language, you don't know the routes to get there, you don't know the method of transportation to get there, and that's what you got to figure out. So most people spend their entire lives trying to figure out the route themselves. But then if you find a system like a public transport system or a system that's already in place that can just take you to that destination, you save yourself a lot of headache and time and energy. And that's when I took a look at ACN for the very first time. Took a look at it. It just made sense. I got started. I worked extremely hard from the get-go. And the first thing I said, look, normally people look at it from the bottom upwards, right? What's the first rank, right? I looked at it like, what's the top rank? What's life like when you hit to the top position? That's what I wanted to know. So I used to just go on YouTube and get myself inspired by looking at all these leaders that had the lifestyle that I wanted. And I'm dreaming every day, thinking about it. Just took over me, man. And that's a bit about the backstory of, what happened and how I got involved in this industry of direct sales.
So you got introduced by a security guard that worked at the same company you worked at. Was it, did you just say, okay, I'll see it? Or were you questioning that person? Did you have trust with that person? Why don't you go back and let everybody know, like, how did that person approach one of the biggest SVPs in the world now, and did you, just automatically go to a meeting, or was there, how did that play out?
Yeah. So it's funny because, so me and this, I call him my friend, right? So me and my friend, right? His name's Kamal, actually, that's his name. So let's refer him to his name. So me and Kamal, we knew each other. We spoke regularly because he was working. There was a high and buy kind of conversation. And sometimes we just happened to be on lunch together. We weren't best of friends, but we were comrades. We were working together. We had to be there together. So we were just kind of like, he was a guard at the door, and he actually here's what's funny. So he approached me in 2013, January. And he said to me, look, there's something I want to show you. It's about making money, X, Y, and Z. So I said to him, all right, I'm down, I'll take a look at it. But then I was just too busy. Like when you're working long hours every week, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, it's like at the end of the day, you're not physically tired, because physical tiredness, you can actually just see yourself through by having a coffee. But when you're mentally tired, your entire body shuts down, even if whether you're physically tired or not. You could not be physically tired, but be mentally tired, and you're just drained out. So office work gets you really just mentally drained out. So I had to do both office work and on the field in our company. So he approached me numerous times in January, and I said, no. I said, well, no. Well, I said, I'll come down, but life just got in the way. So I didn't go down. So what happened was, he now left the company. So he relocated, him and his family, to another city for whatever reason. I think, because it was cheaper. And I never heard from him again. then he came and approached me. I didn't hear from him from about a month and a half. He's like, hey, dude, I left the company, as you know, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, look, why don't you take a look at that business? And again, life just got in the way. So he invited me numerous times. And then 6 months later in June, he invited me and I was like, oh, okay, you know what? I'll go down and take a look. But here's what's crazy. Honestly, I changed my phone number. And, you know, like for me back then, whenever I changed my number, you know, I've only changed my number 2 times in my life, but at the time when I changed my number, I text everyone my number and said, hey guys, this is my new number. If you want to reach out to me, hit me up. But I purposely did not message him because I just thought, because he kept on pestering me about this business. So eventually he reached out to a colleague of mine that worked with me and he said, I'm trying to get hold of Ahmed. Like, I'm trying to get hold of him. And then she gave him my number and he reached out to me. So when he reached out to me, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me take a look. So June, I decided to take a look, and that was the first time I ever saw ACN. And I was like, wow, I should have go see this in January.
Wow.
So persistence pays, right?
100%, 1,000,000%.
Did he have much success in the business? Is that what you were comparing ACN to, or when you saw it? Take us back to the first time you saw it. Was it because your friend had a lot of success, or was it because he got you into the right environment? How did that transpire?
Yeah. So he in fact was at the first rank. So even until now, you know, like I'm a senior vice president, but he's a regional director. So he's like few ranks down, right? And that's what makes it beautiful, that you can actually out earn the person above you, which is incredible. You'll never see someone making more money than their CEO, right? It's just the reality. But, you know, but in ACN, it really is down to your individual, you know, effort. So what happened was he got to regional director and he just kind of stopped doing the business. He was overriding, you know, my 1 to 8 levels of business. So he was comfortable, he was making enough money, and he's never really built the business there since, because of the residual income that he had. So I didn't join because of his success, but I actually got involved because I just caught the vision that day because of the testimonials. That's what got me involved. Like, I'm sitting in this room with like 30 other strangers that I've never met in my life, right? And here's what's crazy, right? A lot of people don't even know this. He invited me to the meeting and he didn't even show up. He was living in another city. He told me he was going to come. So he sends me the details. I get there now. And there's another senior vice president in ACN who's my upline. His name's Asad Ali, right? He's the one that greeted me and said, hey, you must be Kamal's guest. Come on inside. He shook my hands and he seated me down. And I'm like, so where's Kamal? He's like, oh, don't worry, he's on his way. And he didn't even show up. But at the end, I forgot. At the end, I completely forgot that this dude's meant to be here. Like, I completely forgot because I'm just blown away. I'm just looking at these testimonials. I'm seeing people get on stage here. You know, I'm at this rank and I'm at this rank and I'm at this rank. And I'm just thinking, if these guys can do it, surely I can. Right. And that's the reason why I got started that day. It wasn't because of his success or no, it was really because of the testimonials that would take. Because I don't know if you've ever been to an environment where you see that everyone's on the same page, everyone's on the same vision, but most importantly, when you see people winning, trust me, look, there's 2 things. Is either you're looking for an opportunity, what appears to be an obstacle, or you're just looking for an obstacle in what is an opportunity. So you just have to decide which one of the 2 that you're in. So I was like, man, look, I'm looking for an opportunity. I ain't looking for no obstacles. I'm in. And at the end of that presentation, I went straight up to, you know, my upline, you know, SVP. I went to him and I said, look, dude, and at the time he was the ETL, right, executive, which is the lower rank. I said, dude, I want to get started. Let's go. And I just had one question for him. And I said, look, I'm down to do this, right? How can I get started? He said, let me show you. And that was my first day of enrollment. It was 11th of June, 2013. Wow. It's coming up to my 7th year next month, which is insane.
Wow. Good for you, man. Good for you. Shaquille, you got a question?
I have a lot of questions. As you know, me and Mr. Ahmed, we got started the same year. My 7 years coming up this October. And when I got involved in ACN, you know, your story really motivated me because we was young. And what I really got excited was what you was able to build out there. And that really motivated me. And I want you to go more details about your organization, you know, the Team Future Lifestyle Network Marketers. And what I love about what you guys have been able to do is you guys have been able to create a movement that's been inspired by people all across the world. I have so many people from the UK just asking me, when are you coming to the UK? When are you coming to the UK? Because we have been able to duplicate what you guys have been able to do out there. So if you don't mind just going into, you know, the organization that you have been able to build in 20 plus countries all across the world.
Yeah, sure. You know, look, you know, so when we first got into the business, one of the things that, because as a manager, you know, going back in retail as a manager, one of the things that I've always had was I was a type of person that used to roll up my sleeves and get into the woods with the team. Like even in, you know, when I had like, let's say 10, 15 members of staff, right? But, that was reporting to me. So I was the type of guy, I'll take off my blazer, rolling up my sleeves, and we're stacking shelves together. We're moving things together. We're dusting things together. We're serving customers together. We're dealing with complaints together. We're leaving together. There's no like, so I've always done things collectively as a team. And I remember because what happened was my manager at work, she left to another part of the business, right? Of the same company, but another part of the business. So she said to me, look, I want to take you over with me. So she took me over with me. So we went into the store for the company I was working at, and there was a lot of changes that needed to be made. The ethics was wrong, the culture was wrong, the staffing, people's morale was down. So we had to practically build this entire sales team just from scratch practically, right? And that was in my job. So we literally turned it around, the entire place, got the revenues up, and we did this in a matter of like 6 months, turned things upside down, right? And we formed a team of these random strangers I don't know, right? But all of a sudden I'm their manager. So we formed this team like cohesion. We went out together. We really, really built a family. So when I came into ACN, it was a brand new market, there was like, I was speaking to a friend of mine yesterday and I told him, I said, look, before we came into the UK network marketing space, like I don't even think, honestly, genuinely, I don't even think anyone knew it of multi-level marketing. I know no one knew of multi-level marketing. It was completely like something that people weren't aware of. Well, it existed, but amongst the older generation. So when we started, the first thing I noticed was I noticed there was no real culture. There wasn't no cohesion, no camaraderie. And we said, look, the first thing we want to build is that's what we want to build. And that's the first thing that we did. So we got together, we started forming our group, and we just decided, we said, look, what are we going to call our team name? Being young, I was 24 at the time, and my business partners were like 20, 19, 18. Everyone was young. So you got these young kids trying to dress up in suits and trying to change the game, right? So we're like, okay, and bearing in mind, there's no one, the uplines, no one has a team name, nothing, right? Because everyone's just riding the same boat. There's no real system in place. Like, if I had a system of upline leaders that already have a system in place, you better believe I wouldn't even bother trying to reinvent the wheel. I would just follow what they're doing because it's working. But in the UK, there was none of that. So what we did is, we had one guy who was he was an elder, more mature gentleman, and he said, well, look, guys, everyone's like the money team. Let's call ourselves the money team. Everyone's calling. How about we call ourselves, express to impress, like these kind of cheesy, corny names, right? So this older gentleman now says, all right, guys, look, what are you guys all trying to accomplish? We're like, we want a better future. So he wrote future down. And he said, what do you want to have in the future? We said, a better lifestyle for ourselves and our family. So he wrote lifestyle. He said, what are we? I said, we're a team. He's like, no, we're a network. We're a network of people that want to help each other. So he wrote network. He's like, this is our team name. We're like, wow. Future Lifestyle Network. And I promise you, that's how the name came about. And what's crazy is that guy, he didn't end up proceeding with the business. Like he quit the business like 3 weeks later. And he wasn't part of this story and this whole journey. So we made this name, Future Lifestyle Network, and we just set this culture in place, especially at the early stages, that number one, we're going to build with integrity. We're going to help as many people as possible. We're going to work the business. We're going to bring our desires to the table. Look, as a team grows, it's just completely normal that culture might not be intact as the way it was when it was formed. But as long as you keep leading the example and training the leaders eventually train their team. So, so that was the thing about our business, and as soon as we had that and we had that culture, we promoted so many leaders to many different top ranks in the company. And we really changed a lot of lives. Like I'm talking about, you know, and I can honestly wholeheartedly say this, that if we did not get involved in multi-level marketing in the UK, there probably wouldn't be many multi-level marketing. Now, multi-level marketing is very well known in the UK. There probably would be zero multi-level marketing present in the UK had we probably not made that decision back then.
Wow. That's powerful. When was the first time, can you look back that far? And, you know, I've watched videos, you and I have talked in private and, you know, seen a lot of your stories. And you talk about you didn't have a lot of help. You didn't have an upline that was in your town. And you did a lot of one-on-ones and trying to talk to show them the plan, right? And you said, I watched one of your videos this morning when I was doing work outside, that you would just show the plan. You would just keep showing the plan, showing the plan, showing the plan. Nobody was really even getting started at the beginning because, you know, you had no credibility. You had no success. When was that time that, boom, the momentum happened? Can you remember how, you know, what you were doing to create, you know, that build up, and then what happened? Do you remember that the exact moment that, boom, the light bulb went off, or the momentum really started for you?
Yeah, I remember. So here's how it happened. So my upline, my current upline SVP, he's active in the business. He's a great leader, top producer, and so on. When I got involved in the business, you know, I just said to him, hey, listen, dude, I just want to just shadow you just for 1 or 2 days, right? I don't even want to shadow you. I just want you just to show me. I want to just see what you say at your presentations. That's all I said. Look, I don't need you to spoon feed me. I'm a quick learner. Just show me what you do. And that's it. And I watched him at the events, right? How he did a presentation, like literally at the events. The events was my main learning ground. That's where I learned. That's how I learned how to, like, how do you learn a presentation? Watch a presentation. So I used to just sit there and I used to watch him present. And then at the end, I would see the way that he speaks to people, handles objections, and he helps them enroll into the business once they feel comfortable and satisfied. And I've just watched this over and over and over again. And eventually it became, I was speaking word for word exactly like he did. And that's what I did. I just duplicated exactly what he did. And here's what happened. So I started building my team, you know, and I remember showing around 42 people the business, and only one person got started, honestly. And that demoralizes you. So sometimes you're like, man, this seems like a mountain that's I'm never gonna be able to peak. So it just seems like it's never ending. But what happened was, after that time that one person got involved, he now introduced his brother. You know, both of them today are, one's a RVP Platinum, the other's a regional vice president. So, you know, they first got started, and then I started trying to introduce other people to the business, and a lot of other people will say no. And then I had my second business partner enroll, and then I had my third business partner enroll. So we have a team of around 6 people at this moment. So now the company had a convention in October that year. So we're in 2013, from June till October, there's around 6 to 7 of us at the most. We go to this convention, we sit in this convention, our first ever convention. We are blown away. We're like, wow, like, we cannot believe this even exists. We had all the belief, every tool that we needed. We saw people getting promoted. We were emotional on the weekends. We were just, we were like, I cannot even describe to you the way we felt. Like, it's like people that want something so bad that they cry and they just go out there and make it happen. We got back to the UK and we just went crazy. So here's what we did. One of our business partners had an apartment. So we said, okay, this is going to be our PBR ground. Because I come from a family of 4 brothers, 4 sisters. My home weren't possible. You know, tell people, right, guys, I'm using the living room for, you know, a couple of hours every day of the week, because we wanted to do PBRs every day. So we used his apartment and we just literally write a list. So we're like, okay, we're going to have a group coming in at 6 o'clock. And we're doing 45-minute presentations, turnover, very strict. 6 o'clock, 6:45, 7:30, and we're just doing 45-minute slots, all the way to 10:30 being the last meeting. If you're a late night runner, no problem. We're willing to stay up till 12. We're willing to do PBRs at 1 a.m. Doesn't matter. You just tell us when you can come. So what we started doing is we had groups coming in now to this apartment. So we had a group of 5 people coming in. They sit down, they see the business, we do the presentation, we sort them. You interested? You're not interested? You want to become a customer? And what's crazy was, with zero experience, just because of the belief we had over that weekend, people actually started signing up to our team. Like, we had people enrolling. Like, 1 person will start, 2 will start at the next meeting, 3. At the end of the night, we'll look, so how many people got started? 8 people. We'll look at each other like, wow, 8 people. And this came from all of us. So I was inviting my guests, they were inviting their guests. And we would now tell those people that signed up to come the next day, right? And what we would do is we would launch their business. So we'll teach them the online shop, how to get customers, how to build. We'll teach them all of this. And what we'll do the following day, we keep the same location. We were even scared to tell people, hey, do this in your living room, right? I mean, you guys are blessed in America that you guys have these big homes that you can just pack people out. We don't have that in the UK. Trust me, we don't have that in the UK, right? Right. So what we now do, we just tell people, okay, right, what I want you to do, invite your people down to this spot tomorrow, and people will actually bring people. And our team just started growing, and it grew so much that we all of a sudden could not do it in one location anymore. That's when we started doing it at people's homes, right? Shaquille, is your home tomorrow? We're going to do a PBR there. Get your people down. Hey, Samaya, we're going to do a PBR there. And that's when we started having our teams invite at their homes, and we would just separate ourselves and all go down. And our team grew from October to December, from being 6 people, it grew to around 380 people, right? In that time. So from October to December, 380 people in like 2-3 months window. We couldn't believe it. And here's what now happened. From January that year, and in May, I hit RVP, right? January to May, I hit RVP, so about 11 and a half months. When I got promoted to RVP, there were 7,000 people in our team just because of that system.
Wow.
Like, really, I look back now and I'm like, I wish I can go back in that time just so I can write word for word exactly what I did every day. I really wish, but it was like the momentum happened so quickly that by the time you catch on this, those 7,000 people, like, it was ridiculous.
Wow.
And then
let me show this, because I was watching your video, right? So let me just show everybody what you're talking about here. I think if I can scroll over, was this the right? So here you guys are. I don't have the volume on just because. So is this one of the living rooms you're talking about here?
Exactly that. Exactly that. I think I was ETL or ETP or something like that. Yeah. I was
so,
let's say ETL.
This is and then if I scroll back, we were showing this. This is the first picture of you at your first convention, right?
Yeah. So this is the 2013 convention, right there. Yeah.
Now, if I fast forward, right, because you tell your story in this training, this is a really good training for people to watch, and hopefully I can. That's you guys. I think you were talking about, getting in one of your friends' parents' house and doing PBRs in the bedrooms, right?
I said, look, people are on the bed. You see how crazy that is? Like, people are on the bed listening to this.
And then here was your first Saturday training, I think you said, right? And then,
if you look in the room, by the Roop, if you look into the room, you can see that a lot of people that are very young. I'm talking about 18, 19, 20. So they're like, we had every reason for this to not work. I'm saying, when you like honestly, if someone looked at us, they'll probably say, these guys are probably never gonna make it. They've got a lot of development to do. That's what people would honestly think. But one thing we really had, whatever you lack in, let's say, skill or talent or speech or confidence, you can make it up in work ethic. You work harder, like, you will make it. Like, but you just got to work your tail off. I'm watching a documentary right now of Michael Jordan. It's called The Last Dance on Netflix. Phenomenal documentary for someone to watch. It will just get your desires up. And there's a lot of lessons you can really learn and derive from that. So yeah, man, and it's insane when you actually rewind it. I haven't watched that video for years now, actually.
Listen, this is one of my favorite trainings in all of ACN. And then you guys started doing your Saturday trainings, right? So you went from living room to now, this was your own Saturday training that you guys had. There's another picture. And then you started doing, this was here, the picture, if I can scroll. Was this your first convention right here as an RVP?
No, so this was, so I think I either just hit RVP or I'm going towards SVP, or I might be SVP at this convention. But we just started, look, we understood, because this convention changed our lives, we just started bringing thousands of people to these conventions. Like I remember at one point we had like half of the arena was just in our team.
Wow. So just to see this video, you know, and how it all transpired, you know, is really inspirational, because like you said, you just kind of took the lead day one. So you just
said, you know what it is.
Tell me what to do, and then you just ran with it.
Yeah, you know what it is. Look, look. The more that you do something, that's when the confidence is going to really come. But I feel like what a lot of people do, they try it once, they get shut down, and then they never want to try it again because they're scared that there's going to be casualties. You know, one thing that I was willing to accept was that there's going to be casualties along the way. And what I mean by that there's going to be people that are never going to want to hear of ACN ever again because of the presentation that I once did. I was like, but I'm willing to screw it up so I can be good. Like, I was never worried about, you know, a lot of the times, let's say someone writes a list and they write 10 people, and let's say all 10 say no, they're like worried, like the next presentation has to be done by the SVP, the best person, you know. But it's not like that. Like, people honestly ain't gonna follow people that has made money. It really is down to you, your persistence and your belief. Like I remember doing presentations at ETLs, and I'm sitting in front of people that already make 6 figures a year. But one thing, and they used to enroll into the business. Like, I'm recruiting these doctors and all these different types of people, and I'm doing it only because they see the belief in me, number one, and they also see that they're going somewhere and I see it, and I'm scared to miss out if I don't jump on. You know, that's what people saw.
Yeah. Shaquille, you want to jump in?
So I want to piggyback off of what you was about to say. So basically, if you had to start all over again and you knew no one, what would be the first thing that you would do to grow your business from scratch?
Right.
So if I had to start again, the first thing I would do, like, I think honestly, I would have repeated the exact steps that I did. So first thing I would have done, because the first thing I did was I wrote a list. As soon as I went to my first training and they said, write a list, I said, okay. I had a book and a pen, and I wrote down names. I went through my phone book, my social media. I wrote down everyone I knew, everyone I can recall. When I wrote that list, I honestly used to go back to that list and I would just cross people off. Okay, I showed this person the business. They said no. Next person. I showed this person. They said no. Next person. And what I would then do is I would always go to revisit my list of no's. I never, like people, you know, I don't believe in replace. I believe in nourish that relationship. So whenever someone said no, I wouldn't just leave them and just move on. I would always follow up with them every 3 months. Hey, dude, hope you're well. Hey, just to let you know, I became an executive team leader now. You know, I'm just excited because I'm excited about my next rank is going to be regional director. And I would go revisit them at regional director, then a regional vice president. And then I've got this video on YouTube that ASEN gives you when you go RVP, and I send it to my friends and family. I was super proud of it. I'm like, hey, dude, check this out. I got promoted to regional vice president. I'm excited. And I went to SVP, did the same thing. And because I followed up with people, I can honestly say everyone that I knew that I had a relationship with personally has at some point got involved in ACN. Every person. Wow. Like, I don't think there's people that I've had a personal relationship with, I'm talking about that one, my friends, that have not at one point got involved or seen ACN. There isn't one person. And that's the first thing I did. And then the rest is, you know, you follow up and get them in front of the information, and it goes on from there.
That's great, man. Going back to, you know, I've watched videos of yours, of course. Your parents were a big motivation for you to really go through those rejections, go through the calls, the no's, you know, people hanging up on you, laughing at you, you know, everything that the new person experiences. How did growing up and watching your parents, you know, affect you when you got into ACN? Was that the reason that really pushed you through it?
Yeah, you know, 100%. The thing is that, you know, it's everyone to their own. As in, sometimes there are people in life that they just genuinely don't want to become anything significant. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. Everyone to their own. You know, like my parents, like because they were just because they had 8 kids, right? They're so busy raising. I remember just to get us in the car to go school in the morning. Hey, get your shoe on, get your coat on, get this on. Oh, his jumper's missing. Oh, his hair's not done. It was just crazy. So they were so exhausted from raising the kids and trying to put food on the table and make money at jobs that they didn't have time to critically think at the bigger picture. And most of the time, this is what happens. People get so busy making a living that they honestly forget to make a life. And again, everyone to their own. If that's you and you're comfortable, then okay, like that's your decision. So my parents, they got so used to the norm that they were no longer ambitious. I think they were just tired and worn down. So I knew working at a regular job ain't going to change their life. It's not going to change my life. We're going to stay stagnated at the same spot. So I had to do something. So that was my biggest motivation, was like, look, I've got to take care of these guys. I've got to make sure that I provide for them. And honestly, since 2014, the end of 2014, no, actually 2015. Since 2015 until now, we're in 2025 years. They've not worked. They've not had a financial worry. They've never stressed about money. Every single month, I've been able to take care of them. My mom was just saying yesterday, she's like, I can't wait till this quarantine's over so I can go on holiday. And there's no question who's paying for that holiday. Are you with me? You know, there's no question. So it's like, I take care of everything. I send them away on holidays, vacations. So they have, I'm not saying they've got a multi-million-dollar lifestyle, no, but they've got an incredible lifestyle where they don't need to stress. They're not looking at their checkings account or bank account to see how much money they have, that they're comfortable. And for me, that's more than an accomplishment. If someone said to me, what have you accomplished, Nathan? I can just point at that and say everything else. You know, everything else is great, but that in itself for me is a big achievement.
Wow. I think your dad was a bus driver, right, in the city of London, and your mom still had a job, and they still raised 8 kids.
Yeah. So my mom, a lot of the time, she was a stay-at-home parent raising the kids. Mm-hmm. But, you know, she would do everything she can to kind of put food on the table as well. You know, she would just go out there, hustle. You know, she would sell sweets and whatever she can do to kind of just make money from. Like she'll sell sweets at the local neighborhood. Whenever there's a wedding, she'll opt in and say, right, I'll cook the rice, just pay me. Does that make sense? So she would do like these community works to kind of make money. So, but as hard as they worked, they weren't, I promise you, like it, well, let's use British pounds. My dad was probably making around £2,000. And my mum, if she tried her hardest, probably 500, 1,000 at the most. They weren't making more than 3,000 British pounds a month. And that's a household. And that's not enough for 8 kids. It's just not. It really isn't.
And I think the pound is higher than, I think the US dollar is a little higher than the pound, I think. So that might have been.
No.
Is it the opposite?
No, the pound. Yeah, the pound is higher than the dollar, but it's not by that much right now. So I'll give you an example. £200 will probably be $260 or $280. So it's not by that much. Yeah. I mean, there was a time it was double, right? But now it's not that far out.
Yeah. Wow. So that was a really big motivation. Like me, you know, my watching my dad get sick with Parkinson's disease and lose everything. You know, he had built almost his entire life when the last recession happened in 2008. And that was really pushed me and got me emotional. And, you know, what advice would you give to people that are just getting started or maybe even in ACN? Let's say the person's been in ACN for a little bit of time or maybe a long period of time, and they just like might feel like they're stuck. You know, they're in that kind of rut. They may be facing some challenges in life or in the business, and, you know, they're trying to get their breakthrough. What's the best advice you can give those type of people? You know, look, the reality is, you've got, if you're stuck and something ain't happening, it just means that, you know, what you're doing clearly isn't working. You know, there's no questions about it. It's like if your car is stuck in a ditch, you can accelerate all you like, but if the car ain't moving, then you've got to do something else. You've got to tow it out. So it's exactly the same thing in your business. If you feel like you're stagnated and things ain't working and
Look, here's the first thing you gotta do. You gotta get you gotta get re-energized. You gotta get rejuvenated. Like you've got to revisit what's the reason why you initially got started.
Right.
You know, people don't get burnt out from what they do. They get burnt out when they forget why they're doing it. And that's the most important thing. So now you've got to get yourself look, I would even advise you, if you're at a point that at the lowest point where nothing is happening, my advice, go take a break. 1 week. Just turn off your phone, just go and reflect. Get yourself re-energized and rejuvenated. I do that until today. There's times I just want to take some time out. I don't want to speak to nobody. I want to take some time out, just reflect. COVID for me has honestly been probably the best period of my life. Not outside economically in terms of what's going on out there. I don't condemn that in any way, but it's been a great time for me to reflect and think. So go get yourself rejuvenated. Now that you've done that, revisit what you really want to achieve. And now set a step-by-step game plan on how to get there. For example, if I want to get to 10 grand a month, and that's my ultimate goal, here's what I'll do. I will draw out where I am right now and how can I get to 10 grand a month. The first thing I've got to do is I've got to go up to this rank. Then I've got to get to this level. Then I've got to get to this level. Then I've got to help X amount of people. Now that I know that formula, how many people do I need to help to get to 10,000 a month? Well, here's what I will now do. I'll break that down. So that's the macro goal, right? But now it's about breaking it down to micro goals. Okay, so here's what I need to do every day, right? This is the amount of people I need to speak to every day. This is the amount of presentations I need to do. This is the amount of people I need to get in front of. So you can work towards that macro goal, if that makes sense. And once you set that plan in motion, and honestly, that's what I would, the advice I'll give. I mean, I start new legs of business nearly every week. Like every single week, I start new legs of business. I think I've got like 26 direct legs right now. So I'm always, I like my level one, like even me and my plan laugh about all the time. I think I've got like 80 people on my level one that I've shown the business that got involved. So I'm never out of phase one. I'm never content. So I would honestly encourage you is get rejuvenated, set the game plan. We'll revisit your reason why and set the game plan. What do you want to accomplish? Look at your age. What do you want to accomplish by the time, let's say you're 45, if you're going to, if you're currently 40, so, and now start working towards it. That's my encouragement to you, man.
Oh, that's powerful. And, we tell the teams that too, say, if you're kind of in that rut, yeah, you want to make 10 grand a month, but what's your goal over the next 24 hours? Let's go ahead and do those little goals that can add up to the big goals. Right. Shaquille, you want to chime in?
Yes. So I know that you guys use a lot of different tools. So my question would be, with so many options, I know now everyone's doing, webinars. I know you guys are doing webinars before, what are some of your favorite prospecting tools, and what are some of the tools that you use to make your business simple and duplicatable?
Yeah, so let's speak about, the present moment. The present moment is, look, we've got Zoom technology. Everyone's at home. Now everyone can dial in. So right now, one of the things that we're really heavy on is Zoom. In fact, we've got a leadership starting in 12 minutes, and you've got people dialing from all around the country that are going to tune into this leadership. So right now, we have a process where we do these mini PBRs. So everyone's doing PBZs and throughout the day, everyone's on Zoom, prospecting, speaking to their people, etc. And then what we do at 7 p.m., we have a UK national webinar. We plug them into that webinar so they can see, right? So they can see the bigger vision. So they see hundreds of other people on. Then what we now do is we do a follow-up Zoom. So the first exposure at the first PBZ is just more like to kind of get, it's just to sort people quicker. And Zoom has this function called breakout rooms. It's phenomenal. You can literally break people out into rooms. So we just ask people, okay, look, you're going to be one of three, okay? Number one, you're interested, you're ready to get started. Number two, you have questions. Or number three, it's not for you, but you wish to become a customer. Which one are you, A, B, or C? And we literally go down the list, right? But we don't do this to 100 people, of course, but we whenever you have 10 people on, which one are you, A, B, or C? I'm A, perfect. So we're going to put you into room A, right? I'm number two. Okay, perfect. We're going to put you into room two. I'm three, or I'm C, whichever one you want to use. Okay, but we'll put you into room three. Literally with those three rooms, you can actually break out now these three rooms, and you can go to that room and assign a leader. So a leader can be on room A, room B, room C simultaneously. and you can get the job done. Those that are interested or those that have questions, awesome, guys. Come on to our next webinar. It's at 7 p.m. It's a national webinar. There's going to be hundreds of people on. They see the bigger vision. And that's what we do right now. And it's been working absolutely phenomenal across the board for us.
That's awesome. Ahmed, we know you have another training, and we thank you so much for getting on. I think, you know, this goes to show that, you know, working in a department store and, you know, getting introduced by a security guard, and now you're one of the top senior vice presidents in the world with, I would, you know, over hundreds of thousands of customers. I don't even know the number, but you're such an inspiration. I want to encourage everybody to look up Ahmed on online. He on Instagram, Facebook. We'll go ahead and share his information at the bottom of this post on our live. And I think the best thing I'm getting out of this too is you're very a systematic person. You know, you followed the system. You can see the system. You implement the system. And that's where the power comes. So I'm going to go ahead and let you off, man. I know you got to go, and you can go ahead and disconnect. And everybody else that's on, comment below in the comments. Let Ahmed know how this may have helped you or impacted you. And Ahmed, if there's anything else you'd like to say as a last closing word, and we'll go ahead and let you go.
Thank you so much, Mr. Roop. Look, guys, it's an absolute pleasure. And it's exactly just to echo what Adam said. It really is about systems. You know, McDonald's don't have the best food. They have a great system to push the food that they have. And that's what ultimately ACN is. It's a pure system. So thanks, guys, for having me. I really appreciate it. I'll hand it over to you.
I appreciate you, man. And Shaquille, you know, what you think about this webinar here today?
It was amazing. I'm really excited. I learned a lot, and I'm more fired up than ever to honestly learning from one of the top, you know, 1%ers, you know, in the whole entire country, to be able to go from, you know, working in a department store to becoming a 1%er and becoming a multi-millionaire. You know, it's just, I'm motivated. I'm ready to go to work right now.
And we know that people have commented. We appreciate the tags, the likes. Ahmed had to go. We would have loved to have him on a little longer, but he's got a team, a nationwide call that he's doing in the UK here in 10 minutes. So we could only get him for this long, but we're going to have another one next Friday. Make sure you like this page. We're going to upload this on our YouTube page as well. And we're getting everything connected to the podcast. And the last thing I'm going to share, and if anybody did have a question, we thank you for that. And you know, this isn't really the platform for a training or anything like that, but we'll try to get back to you as much as we can. And, you know, we'll continue to try to ask as many questions as we can through these. So, Shaquille, we're going to go ahead and disconnect here. But before we do, we're excited to bring on the next speaker we have Friday. We're not going to release that information yet, but in the next day or two, you'll know. And I'm going to go ahead and end it with Ahmed's SVP promotion. And I want you to see how powerful this is. And because we did end a little bit sooner, I want you all to see what he talks about in his promotion and the emotions that's flowing through him, because he hit regional vice president in 11.5 months and senior vice president in, I think, about 2.5 years or sooner, even a little sooner than that. So, you know, he pushed it. He worked very hard, and you can tell by the emotion in his video. So, to leave and end the day here, the last thing you're going to see is the senior vice president promotion of Ahmed Mukhtar. Thank you, everybody, again for logging on, and we will see you next Friday. Thank you again. Have a great day.
Alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know, but no, he knows.
Are you over 25? Have a clean driving record?
We've got
no DUIs.
So we'll skip over
you
that.
Can drop.
All right.
I hope I can do this speech. Honestly, I just want to say I'm very thankful. I really am. I'm really thankful that God has blessed me and my family. And I'm so thankful that God has blessed me and my family. I really want to thank, from the bottom of my heart, the co-founders of ACN. I really want to thank the co-founders for really giving us a chance to do something great with our lives, because most people don't get a chance in life. And most people, honestly, most people are not given the chance in life to do something great. And you know, they blessed us with a company, ACN, and I had the pleasure of being with these individuals in Aruba, and they're just genuine human beings, and I really, really want to thank them from the bottom of my heart, because ACN changed my life. I really want to thank Mr. Wayne Holbrook for the last 8 years being involved in ACN, being the leader that he is, helping us grow our businesses, him and Claire Holbrook. You know, every single time he travels the world, but yet again, he's always reachable. So I really want to thank you, Wayne. Thank you so much. I want to thank my family for, you know, for supporting me in every situation, being there for me, you know, being the people that really, really helped me through my ACN journey. I really want to thank my family. Thank you very much. I mean, I really want to thank my parents, you know, just for being the best people that they can be with literally nothing that they had to give us. But yet again, my parents, you know, they're not able to be with us here today, but I know they're at home and they're damn proud. I really want to thank my parents. Last but not least, I really want to thank, you know, a special group of people that have really come into my life, and we did this together, and I just want to name them: Future Lifestyle Network, FLN. I really want to thank you guys, because honestly, you all know me that I never say my team, I say our team. This is our team. This is us. We did this together, and because of your dreams and because of your desires, I'm able to walk the stage as Senior Vice President. So without you, I'm honestly nothing. So I really, really want to thank you guys for really believing in me, and we just have such a blessed, you know, environment to be a part of. So thank you so much. I just want to share really quick with you my story. I really want to quickly share with you my story. I got involved in ACN 11th of June 2013. Prior to ACN, I was working full-time in retail as a manager. I was working about 60, 70, 80 hours a week sometimes. And for 8 years, I lived my life as the yes guy. Yes, I'll stay late. Yes, I'll stay back. Yes, I'll do what's necessary. Yes, I'll take my annual leave when it's time to take annual leave. And I was the yes guy for 8 years of my life. And then I was really praying for something to come my way. I was really, really praying. Honestly, I just knew I was going to be successful, but I just didn't know how and what to do or what to follow, because here's what I know. I mean, most people in the world today, you know, you can have all the talent in the world, without the right vehicle, the right opportunity, the right platform, that talent means nothing. I mean, and this has happened many, many times in life. How many people do you know today that, you know, that exude many, many talents, but yet again, they cannot get, you know, they cannot get a breakthrough. Honestly, what I love about ACN is it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what background you're from. It doesn't matter what your experiences are. You can really come in and have success with this company. And I remember a former work colleague introduced me to ACN, 11th of June 2013. I went to a presentation, and honestly, I didn't understand much of it, but I got involved anyway. And honestly, since that day, my life has changed inevitably. I remember what gave me belief was what gave me confidence. I remember October 2013, I attended my first international training event. After starting the business in about 2 months, I attended my first convention, and I honestly remember I sat at the very back there. And honestly, I mean, I'm surprised they even let me up there, but I sat at the back. And honestly, and I remember sitting at that convention, I had my family at the back of my mind, and honestly, I sat throughout that, the whole convention that weekend, and I took great notes. And I witnessed the company that really stood behind its people. And I saw people from different types of backgrounds, races, religions, cultures, educational levels, genders. It really didn't matter. And they shared these kind of testimonials. And I was really moved. And I really started believing. That weekend, I saw the co-founder's vision. I saw the integrity that this company was built on. And I started having belief. And I really had belief. And then from then, I started believing it. So if it weren't for the international convention, I would never be where I am today. So I went back to London, and we really got to work. We really, really started working hard, and we worked very, very hard. And I'm here to tell every single one of you, I remember after that convention, honestly, and I literally from then I made the decision where I printed out a picture of the senior vice president ring, and I put it above the ceiling where I slept and laid my head to rest every night. And I literally used to look at that ring, and that was the last thing I saw every night before I went to sleep. And today I have that ring in my hand. And I really want to tell you that this wasn't easy. This was honestly one of the most challenging things I've ever done in my life. It was honestly one of the hardest things, but the only place that money comes before work is in the dictionary, and we all know this. Many people laughed at me, many people criticized me, many people told me, why are you doing this? What are you doing? You're a manager, just continue doing what you're doing. But I honestly persisted. And honestly, ACN really took me from a world where honestly, it was a world where everyone was in it for themselves. I was honestly sick and tired of being sick and tired. Being beholden to someone, getting woken up by an alarm clock every single day. And I was really praying for something to come my way. And because of ACN, because of this company, today, I'm completely financially independent. I can do what I want, when I want, with whoever I want, and you can't put a price tag on that. Both of my parents today, they're at home right now, they're proud. They're both retired. My dad was a bus driver. And now, because of this company, they can both be stay-at-home parents. We have a great, great family. They raised my 2 little brothers. And if it weren't for this opportunity, this would never be impossible. And I'm here to tell each and every single one of you that this wasn't easy. And many, many people told me this will never work. But today, I don't work. And every single one of us, one thing that we have in common, ladies and gents, for everyone in this arena, one thing we have in common, there's 168 hours a week. Every single one of us, what I really believe is we own our 168 hours. We own our 24 hours a day, 168 hours a week. Don't give your time to someone that doesn't deserve it. This can really, really change your life, but if you're willing to change. Most people say Happy New Year, but there's nothing different about their year. They repeat the same year 75 times and they call it life. And I'm here to tell you, if you're seeing this for the first time, remember there's nothing more expensive than a closed mind and a missed opportunity. My father always said that a closed mouth can never be fed. Really look at this with an open mind and ask yourself, does it make sense? This company, literally, it doesn't change lives. It really saves lives. It really does. And I'm so thankful, and I'm so thankful, that God, blessed me with ACN, that God really just gave us, a life preserver called ACN. And I'm so thankful and ever so grateful, just to be a small part of this company. And honestly, I owe my life, to this company and to the 4 co-founders, Greg, Mike, Tony, Robert. I swear to you, this is my home. You know, this is our home. Let's make this company the #1 direct selling company in the world, and I know it will happen. It's just a question of time. And I know one day someone will say, thank God I did this. And I know one day someone will look back and say, if only I did this. Now my job is to help as many people, you know, to really reach their goals and really, really help ASEAN grow globally. And I know we can do this with the leadership of the co-founders, the leadership that we have. And I want to thank all the regional and senior vice presidents, Circle of Champion members. Indirectly, you have all been mentors of mine. You know, I really, really want to thank each and every one of you. You were all my inspiration, my mentors that helped me from day one. I really, really want to thank you guys. So ladies and gents, let's really make this company the best company in the world. Thank you so much for your time. God bless. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's make it a big day. Let's make it a big week, guys. We'll see you back next Friday. Have a great day.